Do I really have to get rid of all my booze? Well, the first piece of advice people get when they're trying to quit alcohol is often remove all the alcohol from your home. And that probably explains why people often come to me with reluctant look on their face and the question, do I really have to? My answer is no, you don't have to, but you will probably be doing yourself a favor if you choose to. But before I get into the why, let me first say this. I get the ache of pouring away one's beloved alcohol collection. In fact, I still remember watching a collection I had spent years building swirling down the sink. I didn't feel like I was pouring away alcohol down the sink. I feel like I was pouring away my tears and hard-earned money. So why do I still encourage you to give it a try despite personally knowing the pain? The invisible drinking loop, automated drinking routine. So answer 9, we first have to look at what I call the invisible drinking loop. While the biggest mistake we make is seeing drinking always as a conscious choice and an isolated behavior. In reality, for a seasoned drinker, drinking often operates as an automatic routine. Automation is one of the greatest mechanisms that our brain uses to preserve energy. When routine has become repeated enough times, the brain learns to link it to cues that precede it. Over time, these cues alone become the signal our brain to carry out the routine without needing a conscious decision. Think how you rarely have to pause and decide whether to brush your teeth each morning. That's the automation in action. The same thing goes for drinking routines. As a drinking routine becomes well practiced, drinking starts to feel automatic whenever a drinking cue is spotted. That's why you may find yourself walking into the kitchen, notice a bottle of wine sitting on the counter out of the corner of your eye, and suddenly feel the urge for a drink hit out of nowhere. That's why to break an old drinking pattern, what you need is often not more willpower, but a strategic approach to interrupt the automated drinking routines. How interrupt automated routine, replace or removing. While drinking routine has become well established, there are generally only 2 ways to interrupt it. The first, create a new routine that replaces the old one. Or the second, remove the cue that activated routine in the first place. To break an invisible drinking loop, we need both strategy. But removing is much easier than replacing, especially in the beginning. Of course, in real life, not all drinking cues can be removed. Some drinking cues may be people, situations, feelings that simply cannot be eliminated from life. But physical drinking cues are one of the few exceptions. Alcohol itself, wine opener, beer glasses, and the liquid cabinet, and old mini fridge in the garage. These are cues that can be removed relatively easily. And when you remove them, you reduce the number of opportunities that old drinking loops are activated unnecessarily. It won't magically solve all your drinking issues, but it can absolutely make the process easier by reducing how often those automatic drinking routines get activated in the first place. The emotional weight of pouring it away. It feels wasteful. Now, I know even if you're fully convinced that removing alcohol from your home could make your life easier, it can still feel like a big waste to get rid of all the perfectly good drink. After all, most of us are told throwing away food and drink is wrong. But let's take a closer look at the idea of waste. Throwing away food and drink often feels wasteful because food nourishes us. But alcohol is a little different. It's not nourishment in the way food is. The primary component of most alcoholic drinks are water and ethanol. Well, ethanol is calorie dense. It has 7 calories per gram and can technically be used as a fuel by the body. It contains little nutritional value beyond that. Furthermore, to metabolize ethanol, the liver first had to convert it into acetaldehyde, a toxic compound that is often associated with inflammation and vascular damage. In other words, not only does alcohol offer our body very little meaningful nutritional value, but it also often places stress on it. So while pouring alcohol down the drain can feel emotionally wasteful, in reality, nothing worth having is wasted when we choose to not put it in our body. Reframing the experience. a ritual of releasing. But here is the thing. Our feelings are not always rational. Even when we consciously realize there's nothing truly worth having contained in the bottle, pouring it away can still bring up a sense of ache and grief. Because it's never just about the drink. It's about what it symbolizes: adulthood, sophistication, good memory, and perhaps even a part of our identity. What has been poured out can feel more emotionally charged, far beyond the dollar amount attached to the bottles. In my own journey, once I realized the true meaning alcohol had held for me, I learned to honor it. Instead of simply pouring it down the drain like a waste, I learned to pour it away as a form of ritual. It became a way to say goodbye to the version of myself who once used alcohol to meet my needs, and to make room for the version of me that was ready to grow beyond it. I once even light up a candle next to the sink. It really added to the mood. Making room for something new, honoring what you are leaving behind. To truly relive something that once played an important role in our life, we often need more than just pushing through. It often asks us to pause first and honor what we are choosing to leave behind. The same goes for outgrowing our old drinking pattern. If you are in the process of letting go of alcohol, I create a journal prompt to help you reflect on what you are saying goodbye to, what need alcohol once meant for you, and what kind of life you are making room instead. Check it out in the comment section below.